everybody. With the opening of the school happening on the 15th of June, we thought that we would create a video to show you how it's going to be when you return. There's going to be some changes to the way that school is going to be, and we don't want anyone to be worried about it, so we thought we'd give you lots of information in this video to answer all your questions. There'll be some written guidance alongside it to try and help answer any questions that you have, but as always, if anything comes up that you're not sure about, you can always phone into school and find out more. The following clips and video throughout this will give you all the information you need to know about entering school, exiting school, about parents being on site, and any other information that you need along the way. Thank you very much. School's going to look a little bit different when you return, and the entrance is one of the areas that we need to change and adapt to make sure that we're adhering to our social distancing rules. So when you arrive in the morning, we will need you to line up outside of the school gate. We ask you to keep your social distancing and keep your 2 metres apart during that period. This gate will be open, as you can see, and you'll be able to walk up to the main entrance barrier where we will meet the children. This gate will be shut to traffic, so there'll be no traffic coming through at this time in the morning, and it will be only children and adults being able to walk in and out at this point. When your children arrive at school, you'll be queuing, waiting social distancing down the lane. When your children arrive, we ask you to step up to the hand washing sanitizer and come and sanitize your hands. Do you want to come and sanitize your hands? We will ask you to come up to the barrier, and there will be an adult here to meet your child. Okay? And we're going to go into school now. Okay, you ready? When your child arrives in and has been handed over to their staff, staff will all be ready to meet the children on the walkway into school. We're asking that Year 6 and Year 1 will walk this way. Adults will be here to receive children. We ask that no parents at this point come past the barrier at the front. Parents, we will ask you, once you've handed over your children at this point, that you will then exit back through the barrier, out through the main gate again. Preschool children, we're going to ask you to walk this way. You will follow your signage which says preschool this way, and you will enter through the normal preschool entrance, following along down through here and across to the preschool entrance. At the end of the school day, the children will be brought to this area of the school to be collected. All the children will be lined up, socially distanced, as shown here by our lovely volunteers. When you arrive, you will also follow the front entrance path that you came in the morning, following the social distancing lines. You'll come up to the barrier where you'll meet your class teacher, who will then call your child.
Okay, Theo, Mum's here. Good job. Come and do your hands on the way out. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sanitise their hands.
Well done.
And then we'll leave with their parents. Once your children have left you at the main gate, they'll be escorted by staff who will be all along the walkway through into school. To come into the playground, they'll come in through this gate for children in reception in Year 1 and Year 6, and they'll make their way up through the school playground to where they're going to enter their classrooms. From Monday the 15th, when the children all return to school and the wider opening of the school begins, we're going to ask key worker children at that point to come in through the schools through a slightly different entrance than they have been up to now. We'd like key workers to come in through the exit gate of the school. All traffic will be closed during this period, so there'll be no traffic coming in or out of the school during this period, so it will be safe for children to come in through this exit. We'd like them then to walk down towards the green gate at the entrance to the small hall, where they will be collected by the key worker bubble staff. We have put in place a one-way system around the school, making sure that our 2 metre social distancing is adhered to in all areas of the school. You can see that as you walk through the preschool reception area and then on into the main part of the building, that the markers have been placed all around the school. When the children arrive into school and have come through the gate, they will be entering into the different entrances through the school. Each year group has been split into 4 bubbles, and each bubble is going to have a new different class lead. The reception bubble will be going in through the year 1 entrance, and the reception children will be situated in the year 1 classrooms and in the seals and penguins classrooms. The year 1 children will be entering school through the year 2-3 corridor, which is the next one along. And then the year 6 children will be entering school through the year 4 and 5 corridor, which is at the far end of the playground, and they will be in the year 4 and 5 classrooms. We're going to show you now what your classrooms are going to look like. They're going to look different because of us spreading out all the classrooms and making sure there's less children in every classroom, and we've had to remove lots and lots of equipment from the classrooms. Please don't panic at how bare they look at the moment, because when your children return, that first week is going to be full of lots of activities so that we can fill them with beautiful artwork, make them their own, so each bubble has got an individual classroom space that is their own and full of all their own lovely work. We have reduced the numbers of children in each of the classrooms to 15. So you will see an example of this classroom. All the tables have been laid out, 1 child on each desk. Okay, trying to adhere to the 2-metre social distancing. Each child will have a tray with a set of equipment in it that they can keep for the whole time, and they won't have to therefore share any equipment with any other children. In our year 1 classrooms, we will also make sure that we have got the children set up so they're socially distanced. There's space for children to sit at tables, and there's also space still on the carpet for children to enjoy play session as well. Each child will have a tray assigned to them where they will have the equipment that they need for the day, and therefore will not need to share equipment with other children. As you know, playtime is a really important part of the day, and we need to use this time when the children return to help them get back into the habit of playing with their friends, but obviously playing it in a socially distanced way, which will be challenging, but we're going to work really hard on it. Playtimes have been staggered and timetables have been put in place to ensure that we don't have all the children out at the same time. However, when they are out on the playground will be split into zones, and the children will be told about the zone that they can play in. You can see that the playground equipment, most of which has been cordoned off now during the return period, to avoid children touching surfaces that other children have touched. So it's just about trying to control those measures, trying to keep our children safe, and also to encourage that social distancing. But please be assured that ensuring our children have physical exercise and lots of opportunities to get outside and play will still be a really big priority for us. At the beginning of lunchtime, the children will still come into the hall to eat their lunch. Rather than all the children being in the small hall, which we normally have, we'll make sure that the children are in both halls, the small and the large hall, and ensuring that we've got the social distancing in place. Only 15 children will come in their pod, and we'll have 2 pods in the large hall and 1 pod in the small hall during the lunch period. If you just want to have a look around the hall now, you can see that we've got the table set out. There's only 2 children on each table, ensuring the 2 metres distancing is between all of them, and the hall is separated in the middle. Children will enter and exit from different entry points of the hall. We're fortunate here that we've got the 4 exits of the hall that we can use, which will stop and avoid children crossing paths during the school day. When your child returns on the 15th, they may well not be with their class teacher. In order for us to maintain the social distancing guidelines, we've had to split each class into 2 bubbles of 15. Your child will have a familiar adult, and teachers from across the school will be leading in reception year 1 and year 6 and in preschool. We have made sure that there are TAs and support staff that the children are familiar with in each class, so that there will be somebody they know. However, in order to maintain the social distancing, we are saying that each bubble is to remain separate during the day, so children in each bubble will not mix together. We know this might be challenging for some of our children. We know that it might be challenging for some of us, for you as well, to sort of understand and to work with. However, we are doing this in
line with the government guidelines to ensure that the children and staff remain safe when we are returning to school.
When you return, we know that you'll be really excited to come into school, but we've got a few things we ask of you. Firstly is about equipment being brought into school. Children will have all their own individual equipment to use in the classroom, so we ask that no pencil cases, no bags, no equipment or toys from home get brought in. It's really important that that happens throughout the day, and make sure that none of that goes home at the end of the day either. We also ask that children bring minimal equipment like extra clothing, coats and things like that if they're not needed. Obviously if it's raining, bring coats if you need them then. In order to stagger the start of the day for the children and stop all the children coming in at the same time, we've changed the timings of the start slightly. So for Year 6 they're going to be starting at 8:20 in the morning, which I know is a little earlier than normal. They will then be finishing at 1:30 p.m. Year 1 will then start at 8:40 in the morning and they will finish at 1:45, and year reception will start at 9 o'clock and they will finish at 2 p.m. Our 2 preschool sessions will run as follows. The first session, the morning session, will start at 9 o'clock and finish at 11 a.m. and our afternoon session will start at 12:30 p.m. and finish at 2:30 p.m. Key worker provision will continue as it has all the way through the lockdown period. We have got a number of key worker bubbles being maintained after the rest of the school return. Key worker provision is from 8 till 6 as it always has been. However, if you need to access key worker provision, we ask that you contact the school to arrange and book your child in. And again, we remind you that key worker provision should only be used for the shifts to be covered for the parent who is working. We hope this video has been helpful in explaining to you all about the changes and how we're going to manage with the return to school. Our next step will be to contact you this week and to let you know which bubble your child is going to be in and who the class teacher lead is going to be for their bubble. I remind you that the eligible year groups to return to school are preschool, reception, Year 1 and Year 6, and it's those children who will be contacted this week to let them know. Remote learning will continue for the other children using Seesaw as it has been throughout the lockdown period. Thank you.